My name's Elizabeth Cooper, and a lot of you probably recognize me as that woman with the video camera attached to her hand who sits in the back of the room. And I have been, my first sort of encounter with the Public Service Board process was some years ago when there was a cell tower proposed in my town, and I was a member of the Conservation Commission. By the time we got the information that we needed to do anything or say anything, it was really too late. And so that was when I sort of first jumped in to try to learn more about the process and how to participate. There are so many things that are so confusing about it, and I know from having been a part or sat in on all parts of the proceedings. I've been to site visits, and most recently I have just submitted a motion to intervene for a project that is proposed for my neighborhood. So I was thinking back from the last meeting when June Tierney told a story about her experience with dealing with processes after Irene, and saying that if she had not been an attorney and a good attorney, it would have been very, very difficult to get through all of that. And that is how I feel as a member of the public, and though I have learned a tremendous amount, I still know that it is so completely confusing and incredibly consuming, and also can be very expensive, as Dion Nurmek has said. And so I just wanted to read you a quote that represents that, and I am very sensitive to what you've said, June, over and over again, so I will not mention names or the case that this came from. This was from a proposal for decision recently, and this was in this proposal for decision. It says, from the hearing officer, it says, I note that as a pro se party to this proceeding, the pro se party is subject to all of the obligations of an attorney admitted to practice in this state with respect to the matter in which he appears, and that as a pro se party, he is in no respect relieved from the necessity of compliance with any applicable law, practice, procedure, or other requirement. Thus, he is obligated to object to the testimony, some testimony that was given during the technical hearing, but by failing to do so, the pro se party waived his right to object to the testimony in question and his post-hearing motion to strike that testimony. So,
I'm sorry, we'll have to just...
Okay, I'm going to stop there.
This matter is still pending, and Board Member Cheney will have to rule on it.
Okay.
So we have to be
So I won't say any more than that, except I just wanted to say that a person who is representing themselves pro se, and I have sat through hearings where it is really difficult to see what people are exposed to when they are up against very highly paid and aggressive attorneys, and how are you supposed to know what the practices are? And so that's why I really think that it's very important. And I understand that you can't, the expectation of having somebody to advocate for the public from their position is one thing, but to have someone to advocate for an intervener or someone who wants to represent themselves just to help them understand the process and to get through it and to know the language, and so that this kind of thing does not happen. To speak to that just for a minute more, I know that the whole idea of hiring experts, as Dion Nurmek said, 10 years ago it cost that much. Now it's, many times more than that. And I have, I have been working with people who, they finally we made the decision that we had to hire an expert. And it's a huge expense. But there isn't any way to sort of be up against, and that's what it's become. It's become so adversarial that there's the feeling that you don't have a chance unless you can drum up some money and do this. Otherwise, it's just like you don't even exist.